Hi creatives, I am Dima and you're welcome to another interesting pattern drafting tutorial. On today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you how to make this stylish bustier top with asymmetric hemline. If this sounds like what you're interested in knowing how I did it, then you have to stick around till the end. If you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be the first to know each time I upload my videos. Here on the channel, I share lots of pattern drafting and of course, sewing tutorial videos that you will definitely be learning from, whether you're a beginner or an advanced fashion designer. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. Now to do this, I started with my plain paper and of course, the items that I'll be needing for this pattern drafting, and I had to go ahead and draw a starting line, just a horizontal line that serves as a starting point, nothing serious. And right on this horizontal line, I marked the basic neckline of 3 by 3, just as you can see, and I used my armhole curve rule to draw my neckline. Now the next is the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I had to mark it at 2 points and drew my perfect vertical line. So the next is to mark the shoulder slope of 1 inch and connect to the neckline, just like this. So after this, the next is to go ahead and take the bust measurement divided by 4. Anything your bust measurement is, divide it by 4 and mark at least 2 points and draw a vertical line like this. Now the next is to go ahead and measure the front half length. Front half length is the same thing as the waistline for the front, right? So you mark at 2 points and draw a horizontal line. Now this is the bust level from the shoulder at neck to the nipple point, right? Then you mark at 2 points and draw another horizontal line. So after that is the bust to bust of 6 inches. That is what I used, and what I'm marking here is 3 inches. Mark at this bust level and also at the waistline, and here mark 2.5 inch on both sides of this as the waistline. Okay, drop the bust point by 1 inch and connect the dart that is just marked on the waistline to this 1 inch drop. I hope this makes sense. So now this is the waistline divided by 4 plus 1 inch dart intake, 1/4 inch dart intake. Okay, so you connect to the side just like this. So this is the side bust dart, which is the difference between the front and the back half length. You connect this to the bust point, and where I am shading is the dart area, and it will be closed up or taken out at the end of the day, as the case may be. So now this is the armhole measurement. Okay, just go down by 5 inches from the starting line and go in by 3/4 inch, and then you measure half of your armhole measurements using this point. That is the shoulder tip, the across chest, and of course where the half of the armhole touches the side. So what I'm measuring now is basically the length of the blouse, and that is what I marked. You can use 25 inches, 26 inches, depending on what you want the longest length to be. So right now I'm just writing bust and waist to know what it is at a glance. So what I have here is the hip measurement divided by 4. I marked and I'm connecting to the waist. So I marked it from the hip level, yes, but I did not drop the hip line because it's just a guide. So here I had to go up by about 4 inches. Okay, what I want to do now is just to draw the asymmetric hemline of this top. That's just what I did. So I had to go up from the length, where the length of the blouse is. I had to go up by 4 inches, and that is a guide to drawing this asymmetric hemline. I want to get exactly the shape you can see in the pinned picture. So after this, I had to mark on the bust. You can mark from the bust point or from the shoulder at neck. So this way I had to take 3/4 inch, and this way is quarter, and I'm going to use this and connect. I'm going to be connecting this to the bust point, just as you can see, and then this other way to the bust point as well. So for here, I'm going to connect this to the dart leg, and here I'm going to take it straight to the waistline, and it increased the dart by 1/4 inch. That is why I took a dart intake of 1/4. I hope this makes sense. So now I had to complete my dart downwards. I had to go down by 6 inches, okay, to complete this dart. I hope this makes sense. So after that, I had to go to the neckline and then drop the neck as much as you want it. Okay, so I dropped by about 6 inches, 6.5 inches, and I had to go in here by just 1/2 inch and that I use to mark another point downwards to get a sort of slanted line. I hope you understand. So after that, I will be drawing the neckline. So I'm using freehand to draw this neckline. Now that is where your artistic nature as a fashion designer comes out, because I'm not using any of the rules. I had to use my hand to draw this. So this is the over bust tightening of about 1 inch. That is what I took in here, and yeah, what I'm writing is just F, which depicts front, which means front. So after that, I will go ahead and draw the back pattern. So now to draft the back pattern, I had to draw my horizontal line as usual, and I'll go ahead and take the shoulder measurement divided by 2 and then draw a vertical line like this. Now the next is the neckline of 3 by 1 inch. That is what I used here, and I used my armhole curve rule to connect these points like this. Now the next is the shoulder slope of 1 inch, and I connected to the neckline just like this. Okay, so after that, I will go ahead and mark the bust divided by 4. Whatever it gives, you are going to mark it at 2 points at least and draw a vertical line. Now the next will be dropping by 5 inches and going in by ½ inch, and then I'll use this to draw the armhole. So what you take here is the half of armhole measurement. Whatever half of your armhole measurement is, that is what you're going to mark here, and you draw with your armhole curve rule, just as you can see me do. So the next is to mark the half length, the back half length, and then at least at 2 points and draw a horizontal line. So now the next is to measure the waist to the hem of the top for the front, and that's exactly what I am using for the back as well. So draw a horizontal line as well for that. So I had to go in here by half. It can be 3/4, it can as well be 1 inch. Okay, from there I marked the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch that intake, and I had to draw my back tightening. Yes, that is what this 1/2 inch in means. Okay, back tightening. So I had to draw it downwards and upwards so that it joins smoothly to the center back. So by the side here, I will also connect like this. So after that, I'll mark the hip level and then mark hip measurement divided by 4, just as you can see here, and I'll use it as a guide to draw the hip or the hem of the blouse. So I had to connect this to the waistline, just as you saw me do now. Now I marked the dart intake of 1 inch. I marked a middle and ½ inch on both sides of that middle. So I had to mark the same point for the middle upwards there, such that it does not pass the end, the level of that armhole. I hope this makes sense. Now I had to go down here by about 5½ inches and also made sure it's at the middle and completed my dart. I hope this makes sense, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I will respond. So right here is the drawing for the back. Just take any shape you want for the back. So I just decided to have an opening at the back. If you also want it to be a corset, of course, you can open the back in such a way that it will have a lacing. But this one, I'm making it in a way that it will have zipper. So after doing this is what I have, and you can see what we have right here. I'll be using the down parts of the front to, shape the back hem. Now what I had to do is to go ahead and cut out the front, just as you can see, and I'll be using the hem of the front to shape up the back because it's exactly the same. Ensure that the waistline, that is the front half length line, is matching with the back half length line, please. That should be your guide. Then you draw out just as I did and go ahead to cut out, because I want the shape of the back to be exactly the same as the front. Feel free to put any other shape that you want in yours if you do not want them to be the same, but I feel it's really nice to make the shape of the hem to be similar. So now this is the back, and yes, you can as well make it a lacing. Remember to add your allowances when you're cutting this on fabric, please. So now the next is to go ahead and cut the front as well into pieces, and of course close the side bust dart in front. So this is how you're going to close your side bust dart, and I'm using my masking tape to tape it down. So this is the front pattern that we have here, and yes, you can see what we have. So I'll be cutting this out on another paper, which I have done already. I had to cut this one on fold. Here I am marking where the bust point is on the bust and all of that. That is just what I'm marking on the one that is on fold. Okay, so that is the full pattern now. So now this is also the side which I have cut double off, and yeah, this is what I have. I'm also marking the bust on the bust point and all of that, and the waistline, so that when joining it together it's going to be seamless. I hope this makes sense. So do the same when you are cutting on fabric, and do not forget to put your seam allowance of 1/2 inch along this bustier line when you are cutting on fabric. Also add seam allowance to the side and every other part that will be joined that needs seam. I hope this makes sense. Please do not forget to do this. I like making seamless patterns and adding my seam allowances when I cut on fabric. So now this is how to stick all of this together. I am using those landmarks, the waist, the underbust, and all of that. So that is what I'm using as a guide, looking at as a guide to, put this together. That is the same thing you're going to be doing on fabric. You're going to use all of this as a guide. Of course, you're going to be using notches when you're cutting on fabric. So this is how to stick all of this together. Okay, this is me just sticking it together for you to see the final result, right? So you can see. So I've already cut this hem. I noticed that is the side, it's like the side of the hem of the top, the shape of the hem is higher than what we have in the pin picture, right? So, but that's fine. You can actually create your own style as well. I thought it was high like this, like at a glance before drafting this pattern, but then afterwards I noticed. So look well, please, so that you get exactly what you have in your picture. Okay, I couldn't have gone up to 4 inches before drawing this hemline, right? I would have gone up by maybe 2 inches or 2.5, but I went up by 4 inches. But that's fine. It's also a style of its own, but just to point it out in this tutorial. So now this is the back. Do not forget to put your seam allowances. I've been stressing this is so important, so that you don't cut exactly and end up not being able to join your clothes together, because it's not going to work. Please ensure to put your seam allowances. And at the end of the day, you can see the gorgeous, beautiful, stylish bustier that we got with asymmetric hemline. This is so gorgeous. You can agree with me that this is very beautiful. Are you going to try it out? Please try it out and tell me. Let me know what your results are. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll be responding to them. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and of course, do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be the first to know each time I upload my videos. As I said earlier, here on the channel, I share lots of pattern drafting and of course sewing tutorial videos that you will definitely be learning from, whether you're a beginner or an advanced fashion designer. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for always stopping by to watch my videos. I love you all, and of course, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.